Your brothers in arms are hostages behind enemy lines, and you're their only hope for freedom. The firepower you'll face to rescue them is awesome, but to rescue the POWs in the buildings, you'll need a pocket full of miracles and the ferocity of a wild jackal. So begins your mission in Jackal, one of the most exciting action games for the NES. It's an overhead run-and-gun shooter, and it even includes a 2-player co-op mode. The game was developed by Konami, the premier NES developer that brought us hits like Castlevania, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and The Adventures of Bayou Billy. Like other NES hits from the 1980s, Jackal started as an arcade game. Konami's Koji Hiroshita was inspired by Capcom's Commando and decided to improve upon it by replacing the soldier character with a heavily armed vehicle. While your Jeep only has light armor and will be destroyed by a single enemy bullet, it has the power to drive over the enemy soldiers without a shred of resistance. They aren't even speed bumps for the Jackal unit. The Jackal is an elite Black Ops squad known for their survival skills. The team consists of 4 soldiers: Colonel Decker, Lieutenant Bob, Sergeant Quint, and Corporal Gray. I'm not sure how they fit any more people in that tiny vehicle. They must be using some kind of clown car magic. The action consists of driving behind enemy lines along the fringes of the Cambodian border to rescue prisoners of war. Rescuing key hostages will increase your firepour, and you'll need it as you face the game's challenging bosses. The full title of the arcade game in Japan was Special Forces Jackal, but when they brought the game to North America, they changed the title to Top Gunner, and they stuck a big old American flag on the back of the Jeep. There's no hard proof that they changed the title to capitalize on the popularity of the Top Gun movie, but considering the movie debuted in May of 1986 and Top Gunner hit American arcades in October of '86, it seems like more than a coincidence. It doesn't seem like Paramount Pictures was offended though, considering that Konami was awarded the license to make the Top Gun NES game in 1987. It was probably to avoid confusion with their own Top Gun game that Konami changed the name back to Jackal when the arcade game was eventually brought to home systems. Jackal was a hit in the arcade, so obviously Konami wanted to bring it to the NES. Koji Hiroshita wasn't able to be very involved in the NES version. He was too busy working on his next big Konami arcade game, another military action title called Contra. Before they created the version of Jackal we'd get on the NES, Konami developed it for the Famicom Disk System. Just to make things more confusing, this version is called Final Command Red Fortress. And while at first glance it looks exactly like the NES game, it's actually very different. Final Command Red Fortress doesn't scroll to the left or the right, meaning that all of the action takes place in a small, claustrophobic feeling area. The beach level is also completely missing, and one of the bosses was significantly changed. I'm not sure why Konami decided to drastically change the gameplay by making the playing field twice as wide for the cartridge version, but it really feels like a huge upgrade, and is much closer to the arcade original. Jackal sold reasonably well for Konami when it released in North America in September of 1988, but it never reached the height of their other arcade conversions like Contra, and it never got a sequel. Still, in modern times, the game is well remembered both for its fast action and for being one of the best games on the NES that can be played cooperatively with a second player. The only thing better than squishing bad guys by yourself is squishing bad guys with a friend. Even modern critics appreciate Jackal's simple but addicting gameplay. When IGN released their list of the top 100 NES games of all time, they ranked Jackal at number 37. Modern players that attempt this game will still have to deal with all of the challenges the NES is notorious for. Jackal is a fair game, but it still only takes a single hit to destroy your Jeep, causing you not only to lose a life, but also all of your upgrades and rescued hostages. It's devastating. Many of the bosses can be difficult, and this game does not have infinite continues. If you die too many times, it's game over. But what if I told you where to find all of the hidden star power-ups so you'll have every possible advantage? What if I told you how to rescue every POW so you can quickly max out your firepower and earn extra lives? And what if I told you how to defeat every boss, even the giant tank? Well, on today's episode of You Can Beat Video Games, we'll learn all of that and more. If you're new to the channel, we're doing deep dives on retro video games and giving you the professional strategies that can be used by the casual gamer. Please make sure to subscribe and check out youcanbeatvideogames.com for episode lists, news, and official You Can Beat Video Games merchandise. Let's get started. Alright, Jackal. Before we jump into the main video, I want to show you one thing in the two-player mode. If one of you dies and gets a game over, that player can just press A and B at the same time to steal one of the other player's lives and respawn. You can do this in a lot of NES games, and that's how you do it in this one. Well, this battle will make your blood boil, although I hope that it really doesn't, because that is absolutely fatal. As we start here at Checkpoint Alpha, you'll notice that the B button fires the machine gun and the A button launches grenades. The machine gun always fires upwards, but the grenades will be thrown in whichever direction you're holding when you toss them, including diagonally. Whenever you see a green building like this, you want to blow it up with your grenades and then run over the flashing person that comes out. This won't actually kill him as it does for the enemies. No, instead, this is actually a friendly officer that we want to rescue, and whenever we do, he'll upgrade our grenades, and now we'll have the missiles. I don't actually like the missiles better than the grenades. The grenades can actually be thrown over objects and walls, but the missiles will be halted by those things. Still, this is an intermediate step to getting the best power-ups, which we'll be able to get when we rescue this second officer. Now, whenever we shoot our missiles, they'll explode in 4 directions, and that is quite awesome. We still want to blow up these brown buildings and make sure to pick up all the POWs inside. They're worth points, and the more points we score, the more extra lives we'll be able to rack up. You'll get your first extra life at 20,000 points, and then you'll gain another extra life for every 50,000 after that. Once you cross this bridge, you just want to hurry past those ships and you should be able to avoid their fire, but watch out for that brown tank on the other side. Up here we can rescue another officer, but we can't power up our weapons any more than they are already powered up. However, if you did die, it will be good to bring you back to level 2, and we want the points for rescuing that guy anyway. Don't advance the screen too much here. We want to take out these turrets first. You can see what we can do with the 4-way exploding missiles. You can definitely hit these turrets from far away. Up here in the upper right corner, we'll find our first hidden star. The brown star will destroy any enemies in the area whenever you touch it. You just need to shoot that spot on the screen and it will appear, and then you can collect it. Remember, don't advance the screen too much here. You want to clear all the turrets first, and clear out all this infantry before we try to drop off our hostages. To drop off the hostages, just park your Jeep in the marked area and they'll start walking out. You don't get any points for each hostage you pick up, but you get 500 for each one that you drop off. Although if your Jeep is destroyed while you're carrying hostages, you'll lose a lot of them, although you'll be able to pick up several. The flashing one indicates that he's the last hostage, so you can move on. And we want to move the screen up slowly here because we're about to fight our first boss. The first boss are these 4 blue tanks, and they spawn randomly from the side, so I like to start out in the middle. They can be damaged with a machine gun, but they cannot be damaged by the explosion from your 4-way missiles, so if you're shooting missiles or grenades, you need to hit them with a direct hit. I like to try to take out as many as I can as they're spawning, and then for the remaining tanks, I draw them over here onto the right side, where they'll awkwardly try to go around these trees, and you can hit them as they come around. So just use the trees for cover, and it only takes 2 missiles or grenades to take out each tank. It won't be long until they're defeated. If you see that graphic that says "Yeah," that means you did a good job on the stage, and you'll also get an additional 2,000 points for every hostage you rescued. And we're on to Stage 2, Checkpoint Baker. That corrugated aluminum building on the left side is where the officers are imprisoned here on Stage 2, but you want to carefully advance the screen and take out those 2 gray turrets first, just in case something would kill you, then you'd at least be able to restore some of your power. Don't advance the screen too quickly here either, because there's a gray Jeep enemy, which is one of the most dangerous enemies. Those Jeeps can move quickly, and they can actually throw grenades that go over obstacles, just like we can. Luckily, they can't use the 4-way attack, so take that guy out as quickly as you can, and then come up through this green gate, where you'll be able to find another officer and 2 buildings filled with POWs to save. After you pick up all the POWs, you need to be careful as you go through this green gate. There are 2 gray turrets on the other side, and you definitely don't want to be killed right after collecting all those hostages. If you have the 4-way exploding missiles, you can detonate one right between them, and up here the path splits into left or right. Over here on the left side, you can find another one of those star power-ups. This one is the flashing star, which will give you the full power of the 4-way exploding missiles if you don't already have it. But the way we want to go is up the right side. This way is much safer. You can try to destroy those airplanes, but as long as you keep moving upwards as they fly over, the bombs they drop won't hit you. Over here, you need to be careful of that column that drops off. The red piece that falls can kill you if you touch it. After you rescue that officer, there's 3 of those gray turrets that you need to destroy, and you want to do it in such a way that there's only one on the screen at a time. There's also a gray tank with the 3rd turret, so make sure you take care of him too. And you're not done after that. Make sure to clear the other gray Jeep and mop up any infantry in the area before you park on the helipad. It seems that one little infantry guy in the upper right is content to just sit there and shoot at us, so we're not going to worry too much about him. Once you see the flashing soldier, you'll know that the helicopter is about to take off and we can move on. We want to head up along the left here, but make sure to trigger that column to drop off first so you don't get hit by it. Up here, there's actually 2 of those gray Jeep enemies, and you can try to use the columns for some cover, but remember, the grenades that they toss can actually go over the columns, so you need to be cautious. Don't advance the screen too quickly here. There's some water statues, and they'll launch heat-seeking missiles at you, so you want to take them out as soon as they appear on the screen. If you don't have the 4-way explosives, you can actually just rush up the center and get past them, but watch out for the enemies on the other side of the bridge. Over here, you need to take out 2 turrets, and then there's another 2 turrets up here. Do not advance the screen too quickly. You want to take out those turrets first. If you have the 4-way exploding missiles, this boss is very simple. You just want to attack the heads one at a time from right to left. If you get right in the middle of them and shoot each one with 3 missiles, sometimes you'll have to shoot 4 because you'll hit one of the missiles they throw, you should be safe. Now if you only have grenades, you may need to back off here and there and use your machine guns to take out the heat-seeking missiles that they launch, and then get back in there and start throwing the grenades again. Whenever there's only one head left, you don't have to worry about the missiles anymore because just throwing the grenades at it will take out any missiles it launches. It only takes 3 missiles or 3 grenades to take out each head, so 12 hits will finish this boss, and we'll be on to Stage 3, Checkpoint Charlie. The third area is the docks, and we'll need to blow through this wall to get in. But before we go in there, we can use our explosive missiles or our grenades to take out some of these infantry enemies from the other side. They won't be able to get us over there. We want to make our way up the right side. There's a few turrets to take out and some brown tanks, but this is definitely the safer way to go. Make your way around the water. And up here we'll find the stage's first prison camp. There's a few of those turrets guarding it on the left side, so you'll want to clear those out, and also mop up any infantry that you see. Looks like we just gained an extra life, and don't forget to take out this brown tank. We opened up this building, but it seems like that turret in the upper right corner is a problem, but it won't be for very long with the 4-way missiles. Unfortunately for anyone that got here without the 4-way missiles, none of these guys are going to help us upgrade our weapons. But if we head on over here to the left side, we will be able to find one of those flashing stars very soon, so that'll take care of that problem. Before that though, you need to go up this narrow passageway, and there are a bunch of boats and the shark attack submarine that try to attack us here. You want to hurry across that as quickly as possible if you don't have the 4-way missiles. And that's where that flashing star is, so that will get you fully powered up. And you want to make your way over around the left side, take out the turret, and then we can pick up some more of our POW buddies. Once all those hostages are picked up, don't forget about the second house full of POWs on the right side. Make sure those guys are all safe, and you'll see there are 3 laser turrets up above. We're going to have to pass them, and no matter what you do, no matter how you scroll the screen, you always have to go past this first one while there's only one laser on the screen, and it's kinda tough. Make sure you clear out that tank first, because he can get in the way, and you want to get as close as you can to the laser, and as soon as it disappears, you want to drive past it. Whenever there's 2 or 3 of those laser turrets on the screen, they're very easy to pass because they will only fire one of the lasers at a time. So whenever you see the laser in front of you disappear, you'll have plenty of time to move forward. You can see how that works here. So just wait for it to disappear and move forward. Those ones are easy to get past. It's just that first laser that's tough. Make sure to use the walls as a tactical advantage as you head up through here, and you don't want to move forward too quickly because there's a truck there that will try to launch a bunch of cannonballs on you, and you want to make sure you hit that thing as soon as it appears on the screen. Once the area is all cleared off, it's time to drop off our POWs and collect our points. You don't have to rescue any hostages to be able to beat the game, and you won't get a special ending for rescuing them all. But this is the spirit of the game. It was a rescue mission all along, so rescuing is what we're going to do. And whenever you see that last flashing guy go out, it's time to move on. But we can clear a few of those enemy soldiers through the wall. Up here we can reveal a hidden brown star. The brown star will clear out those 4 turrets, and then you can take out that tank through the wall. Quickly move up to this line where you'll be safe from the pods on the left and right side. Shoot them with missiles before moving on, and slowly advance the screen here so you can kill these brown tanks before fighting the next boss. Line up with these arrows because it's time to fight the battleship. Drive all the way up and mash both your missiles and machine guns to rapidly kill the first 2 pods, then move to the left and position yourself slightly left of center on the next set of 2 pods. Finally clear out the far left pod, and then go all the way down to the bottom to avoid some shots before clearing the final pod on the right. With the battleship sunk, we'll be on to Checkpoint Delta. Stage 4 is a marshy swamp, and you want to stay out of these water areas for the most part because they will slow you down. You also want to head over here onto the right side because there's some missile launchers that are concealed in the water, and you'll be able to avoid most of them on this side. Although there is one right up here, so slowly advance the screen, and you see that disturbance in the water? That's that heat-seeking missile launcher, so you want to blow it up as soon as it appears on the screen and take out any missiles that it launches with your machine gun. Then you can cut through the water on the right side and take out a few turrets and tanks over here before slowly moving up the right side. There's a few mines over here. You won't be able to see the mines until you get close to them, and the only way to destroy them is to run into them and lose a life, which you don't want to do. These rust-colored buildings contain the officers in this area, and there's 2 of them over here, so if you were down to your grenades, you can already power up to the max. Watch out for that truck though. That's the reason why we didn't go up on the left side. That truck rains down cannonballs on you and can be very annoying to fight from the wrong angles. In here we'll find a little prison camp, so make sure to collect all of the POWs before moving forward. You'll see the bottom of 2 turrets right above us, but as long as we don't advance the screen too much, we'll be able to rescue these POWs without dealing with them. Although we can shoot a nice 4-way missile up there to take care of these guys at range. You'll see that there's actually another one of those buildings holding an officer, so if you did get killed at some point, you'll be able to upgrade once again. And then we'll pass through this gate where we'll find yet another officer, so you can actually power all the way back up to full if you died in that prison camp. In this area, you can actually take out that missile launcher, but be careful of the missiles it launches. You can hit them with your own missiles or your machine guns. You can actually destroy these rocks, and you want to stay off of the train tracks, but stay close to them. And if you do place one well-timed shot on the engine, you can destroy the entire train. Those mines are trying to push you to the left side, but it's a trick. You actually want to be on the right because there's another one of those trucks that launches cannonballs, and you can find a good spot to shoot it from if you stay far to the right. Once it's cleared out, you'll be able to move upwards here, but continue to advance the screen slowly so you can clear out all of the enemies near the helipad before we drop off our hostages. We can finally send these guys back home to their families, and it's about time that we fought the 4th boss, which is a large attack helicopter. There's going to be a few turrets that we need to clear and a few more tanks that we'll want to blow up on the way to the boss. So make sure to advance the screen slowly here. We don't want to trigger the boss and have any of that stuff on the screen still. Take out these turrets, and then there's going to be a few brown tanks up above them, so we're going to slowly advance the screen again. We want to spawn those tanks and take them out, and then it'll just be us and the chopper. Here we go. The plan here is to move in a semicircular pattern around the helicopter while shooting it with missiles whenever you have an opening. As long as you keep moving, it won't hit you with its machine guns, and you want to make sure to clear out any infantry that it drops whenever it moves away. It only takes 7 grenades or missiles to clear out the helicopter, so you should be able to defeat it in 2 or 3 cycles. And then we'll be on to Stage 5, Checkpoint Tango. This is where the game really gets difficult. Make sure to clear any enemies on the screen before rescuing this officer, just in case you were to die, you'd at least be able to power up to the first level of missiles. Start shooting your missiles rapidly as you cross this bridge. You want to take out any tanks that appear as soon as they get onto the screen. Up here we'll find the first prison camp of the stage. There are quite a few POWs to rescue here in Stage 5, and we're going to want to liberate all of them. Luckily, in this version of the game, there's no limit to how many POWs can fit in your car. There is in the arcade version, which is pretty annoying. I always feel bad about it, but I always want to leave some extra space in the car just in case I need to pick up some officers, and I can't always find room for the regular guys. It's much better this way. Make your way around to the left and you'll see another building that looks like it houses an officer. Admiral Akbar would like you to know that it's a trap, so you may not actually want to open that one. There's a gate up here, and you don't actually get much of a tactical advantage from that fence because the enemy shots can penetrate it. Over here you want to take this path on the right side, which is actually the middle path, because there's a green star hidden on it, and the green star will give you an extra life. You do need to be very careful of those turrets at the end of the bridge though. You may notice that I didn't get credit for that extra life, and that's because 8 is the most extra lives you can have in this game. Make sure to collect that officer from his prison before you move forward, and as you come over here on the left, you want to advance the screen slowly because there's going to be some turrets to take out, and you can use the cliffs on the left and the right side to get some tactical advantage against them, and you'll be able to shoot them from a position where they won't be able to shoot back. Up here, there's a few more tanks. You can't shoot your machine gun through those ledges, so you'll want to use your exploding missiles. And there's going to be some turrets right up above there, so be ready for them. And you can use your missile explosions to get through those as well, and also to take out that tank. Make your way around to the right and then back to the left, you'll see that helicopter flying in, so we're getting close to the helipad, but we're going to need to clear out the area first. We can use our tactical advantage here to take out 3 turrets, and you want to make sure there's only one of them on the screen at a time so they're easier to manage. Try to get that last one. Alright, all the turrets are taken care of, and we'll clear out these infantry from far enough away that they won't be able to shoot us. And up here there's another prison camp, but it's going to be guarded by 2 tanks. If we come up here on the right side, we can shoot them with our 4-way missiles or our grenades through the wall. Now, if you have the level 1 missiles, you won't be able to do that, but you certainly want to watch out for that big brown tank because it shoots like a line of fire at you, and you definitely don't want to take one of those on the Jeep. We have a lot of hostages inside right now, so getting blown up would cost us a lot of points, and would certainly like to at least get 1 extra life for all this work. Also, watch out for that mine that they put right there. That's a pretty mean place to plant a mine, but I guess if you're hiding mines, you do want to put them in a place where somebody might actually drive over them. That's a safe building, there's no tank hidden inside, just an officer. And there are some mines on this bridge up ahead, so advance slowly and take out any enemies that you see as you move forward. There's another one of those tanks that spits fire, and those 2 turrets can shoot an amazingly far distance. However, you can come all the way down here and hit them with your 4-way missiles, and that's a good way to deal with them. If you don't have the 4-way missiles, you want to get towards the middle and just head straight up past them. Once you get on an even line with those turrets, they won't be able to shoot you anymore. Up here is where the helipad is, and as usual, it's very well guarded. You need to take out that gray tank, and then we'll slowly advance the screen and take out the enemies on the left side first because there's a building that is imprisoning another officer, so we certainly want to rescue him before we start dropping everybody off at the helicopter. Once the officer is in the Jeep, head back over to the right, clear out any enemies that you see, watch out for those airplanes that are going to be dropping bombs on you, and then we'll stop here and release the hostages to the helicopter. But you do need to be vigilant. There are going to be airplanes that will fly through and try to drop bombs on you, so shoot them with one of your missiles when you see them coming, or at least move out of the way of their grenades. And whenever we see the flashing guy, we know that the helicopter is ready to take off, and we can move forward again, but watch out for that infantryman that can shoot the flamethrower. That's a new enemy that we haven't seen before. And there's a few turrets on the other side of this fence. Remember that the fence will not protect you from their bullets. There's one more tank to take care of, and we're almost to the boss again, and this is actually one of the easier bosses in the game. It is a wall of guns and garages that produce tanks. You actually only need to destroy those garages, but at first you want to stay back and take out the gun in the middle. Then you'll be able to come up here and take out the garage on the right side before you advance the screen too far to the left, revealing another gun. You can go over there and take out that gun on the left, but it's totally unnecessary. That is not one of the things that's required to be removed. And as you come over here on the right, we can go all the way to the bottom so that we can easily remove that gun. And make sure that you clear any tanks that come onto the screen that you don't destroy as they come out of the garage. And you'll see once we clear this 4th garage over here on the right side, you don't have to destroy that last gun. The electrical field will come down in front of that wall, and you'll be able to bust through like Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! We've made it. We've come to the final stage. Checkpoint Zulu. The final stage is the most difficult and the longest, but the worst thing about it is that there are no officers for us to rescue. there are only regular POWs, so we won't be able to improve our weapons. If you don't already have the 4-way exploding missiles, you're going to have to make do with grenades. There is one glimmer of hope though. There's a hidden flashing star in this stage if you know where to look, and that will power up your weapons entirely and give you a good shot for the final battle. Once you get your weapons powered up to the 4-way exploding missiles, you need to do everything that you can to keep them, so if you have them here at the beginning of the stage, you should be extra conservative. As soon as we advance the screen here, there's 2 turrets that we can take out on top of those buildings, and then there are POWs that are imprisoned on the right and left side of this small green building, so make sure not to miss the ones on the opposite side. So we'll head over there to catch them. And there are those 2 buildings. You will be able to pick up a ton of POWs in this level. I have no idea how they fit them all in the car. Now, I understand that it's actually a 2-player game, so only 2 members of the Jackal squad are in each vehicle, but still, we're going to pick up a lot of POWs here. You need to be careful of that conveyor belt. It's going to slow you down as you move against it, so try to clear the enemies from farther away and then move across it. That last infantryman is really being a problem. Alright, we got him. The way we need to go is on the left, but if you head over here to the right, you'll find a dead end, which seems like a bad place to go, but it's not actually. We can actually kill a lot of the enemies from over here. So if you have grenades or the 4-way missiles, you'll be able to detonate a whole bunch of them and take out those tanks before you head up onto this side. There's going to be guns on both sides of the helipad, so you need to clear them all out. It's a little bit more difficult if you just have the grenades, so do your best. You also have to watch out for that brown helicopter, which seems to come out of nowhere. That guy will take shots at your Jeep and could quickly destroy you, so whenever you see one of those, immediately take evasive action and destroy it, or at least try to get away from it. Over here, when you're unloading the POWs, you'll continuously be assaulted by those helicopters, and they are by far the most dangerous enemy in the game. So watch out for them, and whenever you see one, don't be afraid to move off of the pad there, and you can get back on and just keep dropping off your POWs after you deal with the helicopter. It's not a big deal. Once you see that flashing one, that's the last time we're going to be unloading POWs in this game, so it's time to make our move to the end. Once again, we can use the walls to our advantage to take out that tank before moving through the gate, and you want to quickly hit that pod so that it can open up and shoot at you. There's more guns on top of this building. With the 4-way missiles, they're easy to take out. Otherwise, you need to use a hit-and-run type strategy, where you'll wait until the gun is shooting at you diagonally, and then you can just run all the way up and shoot it to the right. There's another gun behind it, so watch out for that one. The gun behind it has longer range, so you need to be extra careful about that one. Make sure to take out all the guns before you come up between here, because there's a tank and another one of those helicopters that will attack you before you can move on. If that helicopter gets you, it's not that big of a disaster, because as we come through here, we're getting close to the area where we're going to find that flashing star, which will give us maximum power. But first, there are several tanks here that you'll want to take out from the other side of this wall, so use your grenades or 4-way missiles to blow them up. And then head over to the left, where there's another one of those pods that conceals itself in the ground, and you can shoot it with your machine gun or try to hit it with a missile. It says in the instruction manual that Lieutenant Bob is the finest sharpshooter that the Green Berets have ever seen, but he can only shoot in one direction, so how good is that guy? Over here is where you'll find that flashing star. Be careful of all those turrets on top of the building when you go up there to grab it. You want to quickly run in there, get the star, and then get back out. You know, on second thought, Lieutenant Bob is able to point that machine gun in a straight line no matter what direction the Jeep is facing, so I guess that actually is an example of true talent. If you need somebody to be able to shoot in a perfect line, Lieutenant Bob is your guy. Make sure to clear out all of the guns on top of the building before you move forward here. Now that we picked up that flashing star and have the 4-way exploding missiles, we do not want to lose them. We're way too close to the boss at this point. Make sure to take out that gray Jeep before you move forward here, and you want to inch slowly forward because there's going to be this port in the ground that shoots heat-seeking missiles, and you want to take that out before you spawn the guns that are on top of the building. There's another one on the left side, so you'll want to take it out quickly. I like to get right on top of it and just mash the missile button so that the explosions can take it out, and then clear out the 2 guns on the left side. Here, there is a huge gauntlet of guns. If you have the 4-way exploding missiles, they're not so bad. You can shoot them from far enough away that they won't be able to hit you. Just carefully move up, take some shots at range, and the last row of guns can actually shoot farther, so you need to be a little bit more careful about them. Now, that's all well and good, and you can make your way up here. Be careful, there's another helicopter, so watch out for that guy. But what if you don't have the 4-way missiles? Well, there's another strategy that I should show you. You want to stay back, go straight up, and take out the first row of guns. Then you want to wait for the shots to clear, go up, hit that gun, back off until they're all off the screen, then come up and hit the one on the right side. Then we're going to repeat this process for the next 2 guns. You're going to go right up to almost where that second gun is, so that's a good spot, and you need to shoot diagonally at the gun. If you miss, just retreat, wait until all the bullets are off the screen, and try it again. For the last 2, you can actually rush all the way up there and just shoot one to the left, then drop down and shoot one to the right. You need to be careful though, you won't be able to go all the way back once you get up there. Once again, make sure to take out the helicopter or just kind of get out of its way and it will fly on and stop bothering you. And with that, let's get back to the run where we have the better power-ups. Hopefully you're not in that situation where you only have the grenades, because having the 4-way exploding missiles will make this part here at the end a little bit easier, although you will be able to get by with the grenades if you do only have them. Make sure to clear all of the enemies before moving forward, and this large building is the final boss, or at least the first phase of it. If you get right up in the middle of the building and start shooting missiles, those guns on top won't be able to hit you, although you do need to watch out for the tanks that will sneak up behind you. You need to hit the building with exactly 13 shots, and it will blow up, revealing the true final boss. Based on the size of the building that was housing it, this tank is the size of a cruise ship. I mean, Howard Hughes would be impressed. I found that there is a safe spot down here in the lower right corner. If you need to be very conservative because you're low on lives, the safest way to fight this thing is to just hang out in the lower right corner, wait for an opening to move all the way up to the upper right corner, take a shot at the tank with your missile or grenades as it comes towards you, and then retreat back to the safe spot. The tank will not be able to hit you with the fire, and that gun on top just doesn't have the range to hit you all the way at the bottom of the screen, so you are safe down there, although you do have to expose yourself to danger to get up into a spot where you can actually shoot at the boss. It takes a lot of hits to kill this guy, and this is not the easiest thing to do. If you head up towards there and you see the bullets coming your way, don't be afraid to retreat. You just want to take your time. There is no time limit in this game. So whenever you see an opening, just go all the way up to the top, wait until the tank is heading towards you and fire off a shot. You want the shot to detonate towards the middle of the tank. That way you'll know it's actually hitting. If it hits over on the sides, it may not actually count. And this is the conservative strategy for defeating the final boss, and this is something that I figured out myself. I've never actually seen anyone else do this. But we do actually have a lot of lives, so if you do have a lot of lives, I am going to show you an alternate strategy that I do think is a bit easier, but it is way more reckless. If you're down to your final or down to your last couple lives, this is the best way to do it. Just hang out on the right side, bide your time, get up there whenever you see an opening, and that opening is going to happen whenever the tank is on the left side of the screen. It'll start shooting at you, but you'll notice that the bullets aren't going to come anywhere near where you're going to be driving your Jeep, so that's how you'll know you can get up into the corner. And whenever the tank starts moving back over to the right, that's when you're going to fire off your shot diagonally, upward, and to the left. That will hit the tank, and you'll need to do it many times, but eventually the tank will start to turn orange and then pink, and that's how you know that it's close to dead. You'll also notice that that fire gun, which is rapidly shooting out of the tank and can be difficult to avoid, just never hits you on the farthest right row here, so you're totally safe from it. Once it turns orange, you'll know that it's only going to take a few more missiles or grenades to finish this guy off. So just keep up the plan, stay patient, and you will be able to beat the game. Gotta be very careful though. Just one small mistake and you'll end up blowing up, and if you're down to your last few lives, the last thing you want to have to do is continue on stage 6. That means you're going to have to do most of it without the 4-way exploding missiles. And this like hot pink color is the last color that you'll see before you defeat the boss. So just a few more now. Ooh, this takes a long time. This is a serious final boss and is very, very difficult if you don't know what to do. And that's it. We've done it. We've beaten Jackal. But let me show you the faster way to fight the final boss. Now, if you do have lives to burn, and we actually have 8 lives, which is the most you can possibly have, well then it's relatively safe to use this reckless strategy. Just stay right up in the middle, and you want to rapidly mash both attack buttons. You want to make sure you're getting in there with the machine gun. If you have a turbo controller, that's even better. I really like the NES Advantage controller for this game. The 8-way joystick is very comfortable for controlling the Jeep, and being able to have the turbo feature for the machine gun is nice. The machine gun actually will make short work of this final boss. You'll see how quickly it turns to the orange color, and you want to try to get the grenades or the missiles in there, but they're not the main source of damage here. It's actually your machine gun that will level this guy. And you'll see it didn't actually cost us very many lives. We did try to dodge some of the bullets, but even if you don't try to dodge the bullets at all, you can probably beat this guy losing only 4, maybe 5 lives at the most. Just keep up the pressure, and you will be able to beat Jackal. Well done. Your mission is accomplished. All we can do now is sit back, relax, and enjoy the cheesy ending. As we watch the final helicopter take off, taking all of the hostages we rescued back to their families, the Jackal team can finally relax by the beach and enjoy the sunset. It looks like one of our guys is even having a cigar. But that's all there is left to do. The world is safe. For now. Well, I hope this video was able to help you finally beat Jackal and liberate all of the hostages from behind enemy lines. If it did, make sure to give it a like and make sure to subscribe for more videos, because there will always be more building-sized tanks to battle, and that's why we'll be back again next week with another video game you can beat. Thanks for watching.